Here we go. It's time for another sprint zone. And this one is for actually 11:07, even though I've got 11:10 on the screen. That finger error by me. In any case, it's a good looking group today. Not super big, but it is November and usually we don't get this kind of turnout. It was a bit chilly to start with, at least for myself, and I was thinking, do we even really want to go hard here? And I really didn't want to, but it's people, and they seem like they always want to go. So looking rearward, we see Ilka there in what looks to be a mountain bike helmet, complete with visor and ear wraparounds. Not certain what is up with that, but that visor is not helping as far as aerodynamics. In any case, we enter the zone. Special thanks to Scott for providing his power telemetry and camera data, and it's time to get the party started. Everyone makes it around the corner, and it looks like Josh is looking around to make certain, in fact, that the rules of engagement have been kept, which are everyone must be around the corner before anyone goes off. And here we go. We got Matthew Michaels, the legend, sitting up at the front, keeping a reasonable pace, and it looks like Josh goes off the front. And Matthew does not seem to be concerned here. I mean, this used to be Matthew's house before the supers arrived. And to have someone that has no pedigree, who has not proven himself, go off the front, it is of no concern. And you can see back in the peloton, there is no sense of urgency. Dean Davis looking strong back there, next to Ilka, a lot of other the peloton. And by looking at the power, my power's good, but it's not like crazy sense of urgency. Although a 30-second power of 230, it is pretty decent. So this means the big man, the legend, Matthew, is up at the front, keeping everyone honest and definitely keeping Josh in check. He's got a pretty good gap here, but this is a 4-mile sprint, and there are strong men back here. I always say it is the sprint zone, and people can do what they want, and whatever motivates you to go off the front, it's all good. Looks like Greg's taken over as Matthew slides back. Still, no sense of urgency here. We got looking rearward, it looks like Travis, Dean, I can see Michael and Ian, and everyone is still in tow in this one. There has been no selection, and this is a testimony that there is no concern here with anybody going off at the front. Looking rearward again, we can see Scott next to me, and we can see my elbow showing up in the upper part of the screen. Rare shot of me since I can never see myself, and I thank Scott for providing that. And there's a lot of green here today. This could almost be considered a first city team ride as more and more of the green machine show up here. Matthew once again owning it, unconcerned and not wanting or needing any help from anybody. It seems like there might have been, in the old days, a sense of we need to bring these people back. But when you see the strong man up front, you know that even if you go up and try to assist, it is like Batman trying to assist Green Lantern. Yeah, all he has is a utility belt, and it's not going to last very long. Anyway, reasonable power here, and this little grade, you can see my instantaneous power pops up to over 400 watts. And this is like one of the things that I don't like doing because it just burns off matches, especially when on the way up here, and it happens more on the Friday ride. And there goes the big man back. And is anybody going to give him respect and allow him to get back in? Well, they don't actually give him a slot. He takes it as gaps were beginning to open up. Dean looking quite comfortable back there. And it's a new Dean, a Dean who has much more savvy and patience. Earlier in the year, he probably would have went down and to run down Josh earlier, but now there is patience, and he had a lot of success doing quite well in this sprint zone. And there we go. John Lawyer makes a little push to make the final catch and to go around. Is it just a catch or is it an attack? And it is indeed an attack. And there is the touch on the back of a congratulations and saying, hey, let's go. But I suspect that Josh put out too much energy too early. A tactical error, perhaps, if he was looking to stay with the leaders. And of course, he didn't have enough street cred to attract anybody to go up front. There's the wiggle of the elbow, but that's really not going to happen. And I commend Scott on his savvy here as we just made the catch. Dean coming through now and seeing the danger in John, and we get swarmed as everybody comes by. Looks like, and there's the new guy in the blue. I can't remember his name. I'll have to go check. But if he shows up more often, anyway, indeed a player, despite the visor, you know, oh no, that's no visor there. In any case, oh, here we go. Here we go. We got the big man lurking in the rear, and that is Byron, who was kind of blocked there outside. And maybe that's a good thing because we don't need Byron going off the front when there's this little grade here. Everyone's straining, and you can see my 30-second power creeps up to almost 300 watts. Matthew sitting in tow, and this is the point where we've got a First City team member up the road in John, and we've got Matthew sitting there, and Matthew's not working that hard, maybe looking for a little help. Carrie sitting there being a team member, and I remember there was a moment where I saw conversation, and it was indeed what I feared or maybe hoped would happen, that with enough of the green people here, that they would at least have some sort of a coordinated effort to try to win this thing. And that's one of my pet peeves about some of the local teams, actually all of the local teams. No one has anything coordinated. They just act like a bunch of individuals. I don't know if they race any better, but at least at this point, and here we go. And you can see what I was just talking about. Kerry easily has the strength, but there he is. He's like, oh, yep, gonna block from a teammate. Not gonna give you guys any help. And I believe this is recognized because of the lull in the pace. And it looks like Travis going to the front. Once again, animating things. And you see the big man, Matthew, hustling and earning his place in the front group. Because there's nothing worse than being pushed back and then getting gapped. And because there's so many people and some of the people are not courteous, the gap opens up, and before it is too late, it is game over. Looks like Scott kind of comfortable. We got Mark Gentner out there in the orange bike holding his own out in the wind. Not quite certain. Well, it looks like he wants to get a good position there. And everyone bunching up back there. Little bit of strain here. Travis comes off the front. We see Matthew Michaels. The hills always hurt him. The big man always suffers. And as you can see, even my 30-second watt, it's up above 350. So you know there was pain inflicted. And it is now Grupo Compacto. Thank you for your service, John. That was nice. Nice attack as we reel him in, and his day is done. But the day is not over for us as the big man, Byron, a.k.a. B-Train, going to the front with the legend Matthew Michaels on his wheel. Scott, the up-and-coming newcomer there. Greg, a seasoned veteran and longtime guy. Justin, Hawk on that Canyon Arrow, and that thing just disappears when you're right behind it. It is impressive, the aerodynamics that have come out there. Greg suffering there, pulling off, and that is courtesy, allowing people not to be gapped off. The big man, Matthew, has done too much work, and here I get a slight gap, and I am too weak to be able to close this one. Done too much work too early, or I just wasn't feeling it today. Actually, I wasn't really feeling it. As we watch the big man go off the front, Scott's got a good position there, very nice. And did I see a wiggle of the elbow from Byron? Yes, and Scott has the lead, and it is the Fab, it looks like 3 or Fab 4 up front. Looking good, as all I can do is watch these guys fade into the distance. Looking rearward, perhaps Dean was a little bit too complacent as he goes by, and it's too much for me to get on his wheel. Can he close this one? But he needs to realize that there are strong men of equal to his ability up there. And that might have been just a little bit of a mistake. Coming through finally, Some recovery by Carrie, Marcelo coming through, and the rest of the pack as I sag back trying to recover a little bit. Dean is brought back. That little burst of strength, not enough. The legend, Matthew, coming out on the outside. And there's Ilka on the gravel bike with the mountain bike helmet. This is almost an insult to the strong man to see such. And there's Isla coming through. I believe this is the first time that she has shown herself to be a player. Well done, everyone. Well done. That was fairly exciting, despite the fact that I really wasn't like down for all that because I was hoping for a little bit easier every day. It is November, and I don't really like a hard ride. Anyway, a good time was had by all, and to all, a good night or a good day. Yep, there we go. Everybody catching up here. I'm trying to recover. 84 watts, 100 watts, 30-second as we turn around. And we see Scott has done quite well on this one. Very nice, everyone. Very nice. The tactics are definitely getting better. People are animating the event. There are many people that are not afraid to stick their noses into the wind. Pretty nice turnaround. There's a truck back, but there was lots of waving and everything. So, you know, courtesy was extended by us. Nice work by all. Peace.